Hi guys, so today I thought I'd do a different kind of video for you. I thought I would start on a brand new series that I'm going to do here on my channel. And because my first video, if you guys have watched it, explains the meaning behind the name of this channel. And one of the subjects, if you guys have watched my first video, you will know the meaning behind the name of my channel. And there's one area of my channel that I haven't really touched upon very much yet, and that would be photography. So I'm going to start doing a photography series, and it is just going to be basically my tips on photography and things about photography. And if you guys want to request any sorts of videos about photography, please feel free to comment anywhere, leave me an inbox or whatever. Just, tweet me, message me on Facebook, do whatever. But anyway, just contact me. Just, get involved, have your say, and I will do videos for you guys. Now, just a little bit of background info. I don't know if you guys know, but I am a photographer. That is my occupation. I shoot various things. I don't like to limit myself in just doing one type of thing, so I do a variety of things. At the minute I spend a lot of time doing club work, because at the minute it earns me some good money. So yeah, that's what I do at the minute mostly. I do other bits as well. I also do weddings and things like that. So I do all sorts of different types of photography, and over the years I have done a various amount of things, working with various people and with various things happening for me and whatnot and things like that. So I wouldn't say my photography resume, CV, whatever you want to call it, is boring by any means. I won't touch too much on that because that's just all about me. I'm not here just to talk all about me. But just to confirm, I've been doing photography since I was about 14, 15. I've been doing it quite a while. I'm 20 now, so about 5 years or so. Like 5 or 6 years I've been doing this. So this first episode, is it an episode? I don't know. This first video is going to be on how to get into photography and how I got into photography, and I just have here a list of references, just of topics to talk about, just some pointers and things that are a good way to kind of get the ball rolling and see if it's what you want to do, that sort of thing, and just to get out there and do it. There's nothing wrong with getting out there and doing it. So we're just going to get straight on with it. So the first thing I would say, number one, is to get at least a half decent camera. These days, it sounds really silly, but the cameras on these are pretty damn good. The only thing is, there aren't so many settings to play around with, so that limits you on your technical ability to learn. You can just go and get a compact camera if that's what you can afford. You have what you can afford. You don't have to go out and buy the top of the range camera, because if you decide it's not something you want to do, or you get bored of it, that's a bit, that's a big expense. That's a lot of money, and I know you can sell things like that, but you want to be sure that it's something you want to do before you go and invest so much money into it. So I'd advise just getting a camera to start with. I started off with a Fujifilm camera. It was a DSLR camera. Had an attached lens that you couldn't detach, so I was very limited on work in that aspect of what I wanted to do. But it was great as a first camera. It got the ball rolling for me, and it gave me a chance to practice, and it had various settings and things like that. So you can it had video as well, which was also a great element. And yeah, it was just one of those things where I wouldn't say the camera that you have is the be all and end all of you starting out. Just go, take pictures, or take video, or both. Do whatever you want to focus on. There's nothing wrong with going into both areas, videography and photography, but videography is a bit different, obviously. But the great thing is you can have one camera that can do it all. My second tip, once you've got this camera, whatever it is, whatever make it is, it doesn't matter. Like I just said, just take it everywhere with you. This is the idea. You take it everywhere with you, and if a shot comes up, or if you see something in your mind and you're like, that is a shot, I want to get that picture, you can go get that picture. You go get that picture. And that's exactly what it's about. It's going into a situation, looking at the lighting available and going, right, what settings do I need to play with? And these are the things that if you learn the technical aspect of it, you can do this and you can just apply your knowledge, and it's very transferable. between different situations, which means that you are able to work in manual mode opposed to automatic mode for a club, for a wedding, etc. And you can just, you understand how to use your camera. And this is what you learn as you take it with you. And you can literally take it everywhere. Take it on holiday, different environments, different landscapes, different things to photograph, different subjects. You know, just take it to a friend's party, and even if you're just trying to get candid pictures of people when they're not looking, and you know, informal shots and things like that, it's just great. Take it everywhere. Go for a walk with the dog and take pictures of the dog and things like that. If you don't have a dog, obviously you can't do that, but it's just a case of taking your camera everywhere and having it as like an extra limb. That sounds really crazy, but for me, my camera is like an extra limb. If I go places without it, I see a shot and I'm like, damn, I can't get that, and I have to get it on my iPhone, which really annoys me because it's not to the standard that I want it to be, and it's not to the quality, and that really frustrates me. But now I go places, and if I don't have it, I literally feel like something's missing. I'm like trying to pat myself down. I'm like, what's missing here? Like, that's how funny you get with your camera. It's a very it's a very big part of like what you become when you're out and about, because the way you see things is you see things as a photographer. Like, most people will sit there and you'll be like, that's a really cool shot, that could be a really cool shot, or that could be composed as a really cool shot, and people are like, it's just someone sitting eating in a cafe or something silly like that. But it's just the way you see it through your eyes. Your eyes see things completely differently when you think of it that way. So yeah, just take it literally everywhere with you, and then you don't miss any shots. And the most annoying thing for me is when you go somewhere and you miss a shot. So it drives me crazy. My third one, pretty much, I think I probably waffled onto in the second one, which is take pictures of anything and everything. So yeah, like I just said, just take pictures of anything and everything, whatever. If there is something particularly that interests you, may it be cars, may it be makeup, may it be, you know, fashion. Go, like, if you're in London, ask people in the street, say, can I photograph your street style? I love that style, and stuff like that, and just get shots like that. And with that, you can even take that further, and you can create a blog and stuff like that, and it can just roll. It can literally just tumble from like just taking a few snaps here and there to being a blog, being, you know, doing this as a living like I do, and things like that. There's so much potential just by having a camera like what I'm sitting filming in front of now. It can also lead to this road as well. So there's plenty of places to go and things to do with a camera and things to snap. So snap them all. Utilise the internet is my fourth tip. So by that I mean have a look at what other people are doing. Don't necessarily copy what people are doing. Take inspirational bits from here and there. Create mood boards. Do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel. Put them on your wall. Do whatever you feel gives you the most inspiration. And yeah, just research famous photographers, and, you know, look into, research how to create, sorry, I just clicked my fingers. Research into how to create different things, like long exposure shots and stuff like that. And you can learn how to shoot different styles through the internet. You can do it on YouTube as well. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of photography videos out there on YouTube, and they can help you research camera if you're looking to upgrade, because there might be, you know, promotional videos, comparison videos between, you know, say Canon, Nikon, whatever, things like that. And it's just great. Utilise the internet. It's so accessible these days to everyone that we might as well utilise every bit of it to our advantage. So yeah, use it in whatever way you see fit. Although I don't condone copying any other people's work, there is doing your own spin on someone else's work and using it as inspiration, and then there's just blind up copying. So let's not go down that route. My fifth tip is to get some form of editing software. Now this can be anything you like. There are generally standard ones that come on computers, Macs, etc. these days, and obviously Mac have the App Store where you can buy a whole range of things. Now I use Photoshop CS4 on my iMac and CS6 on my MacBook, so I know how to use those. I started off, I went out and spent it was a good chunk of money at the time on Photoshop Element 6, I think, which was like a package thing. I think I got it off Amazon or something like that. But even though it was a lower spec than like what I use now, it's always a great place to start, because you don't want to throw yourself in the deep end, get confused by all of these things that you can do, because Photoshop is very extensive, and it doesn't even have to be Photoshop that you start with. And there are also other things that you can use as well as Photoshop. There's Lightroom, which is much better for batch sorts of editing, which is great for weddings, things like that, and club work. So there are so many different editing softwares to get into, and with videography there is obviously the same. I won't really touch on that too much unless you guys want me to do a videography style video talking about that sort of thing. But yeah, I will kind of leave that to the side a minute and just carry on with the photography basis. But yeah, just go and get some editing software. It doesn't have to be the top notch, like I said with the camera. You don't have to start at the top, because at the end of the day it could be top notch but you still don't know how to use it. So just learn how to use things first. And if you're great with computers and you can afford Photoshop, throw yourself in the deep end. If that's what you want to do and you've got the time to sit there and look at it and learn every inch of it, go for it. But most people don't have that sort of time floating around in their day. Also, ways you can learn how to use things like this, because I know studios, photography studios, where they do lighting tuition classes, but you know, so you can learn how to use studio lighting, how to set it up, etc. They also do Photoshop and Lightroom tuition as well, and this is great. You get broken down, like it's a group of 6 usually maximum, that sort of thing, and you'll sit there, you bring your laptop, computer, whatever it may be, you bring it with you, you sit down and you learn basics and you learn how to do various things. There are also add-ons for Photoshop, which may be a bit controversial, but one of the add-ons that I occasionally use if I'm doing studio work with, say, a glamour model, is a skin softening tool, airbrushing sort of tool. I don't use it at full whack. I'm not about plastic ladies by any means. It just helps soften the skin a bit, especially if people struggle with acne. It is always a good bit of software to try out and to experiment with again. So there's just so many branches for you to go down and so many plugins. You can create actions on Photoshop to make your editing quicker and things like this. I know it all sounds a bit and a bit scary and a bit crazy, but just bring it back to the basics. Start by messing around with the brightness, the contrast, saturation and things like that. Even if you just learn how to do those things and just play around with those things, highlights, shadows, etc. And layering and things like that, just practice. It's honestly all about practice, and once you've took pictures you can practice all sorts on them. You just put them into that editing software and you can practice doing all sorts on them. Just make sure you don't save over the original. That's my only bit of advice, and I think that it sounds quite obvious, but sometimes you accidentally click shortcut and it accidentally does things like that, so just be aware. But other than that, just get a bit of software, practice. End of that ramble. Only one more ramble left, guys. My 6th and final tip is to join groups and try and contact groups, find photography websites and things like that. There are various ones. Basically, you can probably find local photography groups where people come and they do competitions and things like that, and it's just a great way to share ideas, swap ideas and gain experience from other people and bounce off other people. And it's a good way to socialise as well. It's a good way to find out who else is doing this sort of thing in your local area and who's doing what and stuff like that. And I know studios where they do group nights as well, where basically they'll book a model or something like that, and photographers pay, they turn up and they take pictures, and they also get to socialise and bounce ideas off each other. It's always there's also a bit of light intuition sometimes that goes on as well there, and it's just nice to chat and communicate with people with similar interests. So it's always good to go and attend these things, even if it's just finding groups on Facebook and getting involved and posting pictures and asking for feedback, things like that. It's all good, because even if you're getting criticism, you know, it's constructive, and you just gotta, don't take it too personally, because some people aren't going to like your work. There's always going to be someone that doesn't like what you do, and there's always going to be someone that loves it. So just see it that way. As long as you love what you do, as long as you can take pictures and you can look at them. And sometimes there's ones where you look at them and you go, oh my god, I just love what I did there. I love that picture. At the end of the day, if it makes you happy, you do it. It's not about what everyone else thinks. It's about what you think and how you feel about it. I love pictures. For the most part, they're great memories. It's a great way to remember things. Because we don't always remember everything that happens in our life. And it's a great way to cement it in. And it's always something you can go back to and you can look at, and it's just, I think it's amazing. I mean, when it comes to wedding photography, obviously it's a crucial part. That and videography. Videography is very up and coming with weddings as well. And it's all just great. It's a great way to remember such special occasions and events and stuff like that. So those are my 6 tips on how to get into photography. I know it was a big whirlwind of information and stuff for you guys to take in, so I'm really sorry if I waffled a lot and it was very long-winded, but I hope you guys found this insightful and I hope it did help you guys out. And if you guys have any other questions, please let me know down below, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!